New comic book day is right around the corner again. Let's take a look at the books on my pull list. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I'm BJ Kicks, and this is the pull list. It's my weekly video where I take a look at all the books coming out. I'll tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, and we'll take a look at a few new series debuts that are on the radar for this week of New Comics, Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. It's already December. That's crazy. But anyway, the pull list, as always, is brought to you by my LCS, Fight or Flight Comics, here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you are in the area and you're looking for a great place to buy comics and other collectibles, head to Triangle Town Center Mall, go in the food court entrance, walk in, make a left, and there you will find Fight or Flight Comics, the best shop in the land. So whether you're helped out by Dan, Casey, Emily, Jack, or Max, you'll have a great time, and tell them I sent you. If you start a pull box with Fight or Flight Comics, you'll get 10% off everything you purchase all the time, all year round. It's awesome. Now, I'm willing to bet, if you walk to Fight or Flight or walk into Fight or Flight Comics right now, some of those dollar bins from Black Friday are still on the sales floor. If I know Danny, they're still there. So go ahead and browse them while you still can. Anyway, let's talk about the books that I'm going to pick up at Fight or Flight Comics this week, starting with the book I am most excited for this week. That is, honestly, it's a toss-up. There could be several, 3 or 4 books that could be the top of the reading pile, but I'm going to go with The Ultimates. The Ultimates issue number 7 is out this week, written by Dennis Camp. I believe Juan Frigeri's back on the art, but I'm not sure. Issue 7 is a brand new jumping in point, and I think this is my favorite Marvel book. It's been a toss-up, but The Ultimates has just consistently wowed me. There is not a single issue that has not been my favorite issue of that respective week, if not the month. But Ultimates number 7, this is technically a new jumping in point, the start of a brand new story arc. I can't believe the way they ended the last issue. I don't want to spoil anything. The solicit says there was the death of a major character, and that's true. And I just can't believe they did what they did. And what does this mean for the rest of this timeline as we await the return of the Maker? I don't know. By the way, I've been reading the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback, and while you don't need to read the Ultimate Invasion trade paperback, I do think it's helpful to have knowledge of just how sinister the Maker is and how he's kind of orchestrated this world that we're living in now and the ramifications of it. So cool reading, not necessarily required reading, but I'm loving all this Ultimate Universe stuff, and that is where it began. Anyway, The Ultimates issue 7 is out this week. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And since we're talking about Marvel Comics, let's keep it going with Avengers issue number 21. Avengers, written by Jed McKay. This issue sees the return of artist Valerio Schiti to the run. And quite honestly, I enjoyed him in Avengers 18, or was it 17, when Storm joined the team. And then we didn't see him again. Anyway, the point is, Valerio's back. And also, apparently, this is going to be some sort of an Avengers versus X-Men redux. So we know that Storm has joined the team. We know that, Storm technically still has not said she's on the team, unless that happened in issue 20. Something's wrong with my digital copy, so I haven't quite read issue 20 yet. But I knew that was a Black Panther solo mission. But anyway, the point is, Storm, it seems like she's kind of torn as to whether or not she really wants to be on this team. And now the X-Men are fighting for some reason with the Avengers. I'm excited to see what's going on in Avengers issue 21, out this week with a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And next up on the Marvel Comics pull list, this one easily could have been the most exciting book, but it is Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 27. Cody Ziegler and Federico Vincentini are doing character-defining work on Miles Morales. And what's crazy is where the bumps in the road earlier in the run had just been how much they had to tie in to other things going on, other happenings in the Marvel Universe, other direct crossovers. By the way, there's another one of those on the horizon. What I've loved about it is how they have used all these different elements that are going in and around the Marvel Universe to Miles' advantage, to kind of keeping us in this same seat where Miles is a student of the game and he's learning from honestly everyone, any and everyone that is in a position to teach him. Right now, he's taking his lessons from the Black Panther, T'Challa, and apparently they're going to Wakanda in this issue. And I'm always down for Black Americans experiencing Wakanda. It's what got me into that whole side of the world. So cool stuff. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue 27 is out this week. Cover price is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And next up is X-Force, issue number 6. X-Force, written by Jeffrey Thorne with art by Marcus Toe. What I love about this book is that it's very much kind of done in one stories. And there's overall a sense of like anything can happen when you're reading this. Like anything can happen and nothing is quite as it seems. And I don't know if anything kind of embodies that more than the cover for this issue, because how is Storm a teenager still? And how are her and Forge reuniting, as the text of the solicit says? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm excited to read it. X-Force issue 6 is out this week. Cover price is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on my Marvel Comics pull list this week is X-Men issue number 8. Yeah, I probably would have dropped X-Men by Jed MacKay and Ryan Stegman if it were not headed directly into a crossover with my favorite X title. Thankfully, it's just a crossover with Uncanny X-Men. It's not a line-wide crossover, but the assault on graymalkin. Is it assault? Raid. The raid on graymalkin starts here. So the main X-Men team and presumably the Uncanny X-Men team are headed back to graymalkin, aka Westchester Mansion, to presumably retrieve the prisoner, Charles Xavier. I've really been enjoying Uncanny X-Men, and Rogue said in no uncertain terms that they'd be back to reclaim things at Westchester. I know it was going to be in like the direct next issue, but hey, I'm down for it. X-Men number 8 is the beginning of that. It's only a 4-part crossover. I said 4, I meant 4. It's only a 4-part crossover, and it starts right now. Issue 8 out this week. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. Those are the Marvel books on my pull list. If I stick to the list, they'll just cost me $22 this week. And yeah, I won't spoil anything. $22. I'm in good shape so far as we move over to DC Comics, the distinguished competition. Let's see what's on the pull list, starting with Absolute Superman, issue number 2. Now, through one issue of each, Absolute Superman, Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Superman might have been my favorite. And I think it might have just been a case of like, the whole surrounding context, everything going on in the world when I happened to read Absolute Superman number 1. But this alien basically being a champion of the oppressed, as the title of the first DC Finest Superman collection would state, was really cool. It was just really cool to see Superman standing up for people who were being exploited, who were being, downtrodden. And like, ultimately, that's really what Superman is. No matter what circumstance he comes from, that's what you expect Superman to do. And issue 1 was really, really well done. And what I'm excited about is like seeing his power set. We kind of got this new Superman who has power, and it seems like his suit contains that power and also has like some sort of sentience and advises him on how to like go about, like, I don't know, very interesting things. I'm curious about a Superman that's not necessarily nurtured by, Ma and Pa Kent, and how his morals actually take form, because he's clearly fighting for morality. Anyway, Absolute Superman number 2 definitely got my attention. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. Just a shout out, by the way, as with all these issue 2s, there's a Absolute Superman number 1 Noir edition that's out this week. So if you missed out on the first or second printing, there's your chance to grab one. Anyway, next up is Action Comics issue 1078. I'm behind. The Fall of the Super Family apparently gets teased in this issue. At least that's what's on the cover. I'm a sucker for a good family book. This book just doesn't need to be weekly, or Maybe it does. Maybe it's a great story and should be read weekly. Rockin' Robbie seems to think so. There's just so much on my pull list. Anyway, you don't need my complaints. Action Comics 1078 out this week. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A, and the last book on my pull list for DC Comics this week is Batman issue 155. Now, last week I told you how I was all excited to just get caught up on every book on my pull list. Let me tell you why I'm not caught up on Batman. Well, we know that Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are taking over Batman with issue 158. By the way, that prelude in the Justice League Unlimited from last week was pretty cool. I feel like it didn't give us any information that we, didn't already have, but at least we got to see Jim Lee drawing a bunch of stuff, right? The point is, including this issue, there are 4 issues left in the Chip Zdarsky run. And like clockwork, when you announce to me that the run is coming to an end, my brain shuts off, I stop caring, and I'm like, all right, cool. Whenever it's done, I'll read all of it. And that's how I feel about this. I'm curious to see how the Chip Zdarsky run on Batman goes down in history. Because I feel like for so long we've been getting like sort of placeholder Batman stories. The James Tynion run got cut short. There was Joshua Williamson had like 6 issues on Batman, and then we had Chip Zdarsky, and it started off with a bang, and it feels like it's kind of been meandering, at least on my pull list, ever since. So I don't know, man. The rumor is they're gonna reboot Batman and Superman next year, and I can't say it wouldn't be a welcome change. Anyway, cover price on 155, issue 155 of Batman is, oh, well, in that case, I didn't realize. There's only 3 issues left of Batman. Anyway, cover price on Batman 155 is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. Those are the DC comics on the pull list this week. And as long as I stick to the list, those 3 are going to cost me $15. Camera shut off right on time. Those 3 books will cost me $15. And now let's skip on over to the indies, where there's only 3 books on the pull list. We'll start with Cruel Universe, issue number 5. Cruel Universe is an anthology, a sci-fi with kind of horror leanings anthology from EC Comics by way of Oni Press. And honestly, I've been keeping it on the pull list because I love the Greg Smallwood covers. There's typically at least one story in the anthology that really grabs me, but it falls to the bottom of the reading pile so often, just because it's not necessarily my wheelhouse. But if I'm going to keep buying it for covers, this is a great one to do it for, right? $4.99 is the cover price on that. I'm grabbing cover A. Next up is Dick Tracy, issue number 6 from Mad Cave Studios. This is written by Alex Segura and Michael Morisi with artwork by Geraldo Borges. At least that's who did the first story arc. There was a little bit of a break, and now we've got story arc number 2 starting with issue 6 this week. It was a very kind of, I shouldn't say very, but it was, kind of by the book detective mystery story set in the 40s. And I really enjoyed the first story arc. Now that we've kind of established our crew, we've got Dick Tracy, we've got insert side characters whose names I can't remember. One of them is like, she was the reporter's daughter, and the other was like a gangster, kind of reformed gangster that Dick Tracy kind of keeps on the call, who can do the brutal things that he can't necessarily. I don't know. I like our trio, and I'm excited to see, now that we've kind of established the world, we've even established like, who the mob boss reoccurring villain is going to be. I'm excited to see what kind of situations they put these characters through. Dick Tracy, number 6, brand new story arc starts here. Cover price is $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on the indie pull list, therefore, the last book on the pull list this week is The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 102. It's still The Walking Dead. It's still in color. The covers are still cardstock, and the cover A's are still done by David Finch. And for all those reasons, I'm still buying it. Cover price on it is $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And that's it. Those are all the books on the pull list this week. My indie total is going to be $14. And if you add that to the score you've been keeping track of at home, then my grand total for the week before taxes and my 10% subscriber discount at Fight or Flight is just $51. That means I'm under budget. I don't have to make any cuts. I don't have to put anything on the chopping block prematurely. That's exciting. So With all that said, if I, fudge the numbers just a little bit, I might have room for one book that's on the radar this week. So let's run them down. First up, Archie, The Christmas Spectacular, issue number one. I don't know who's writing it, but I've literally never read an Archie comic, and they always look so fun. So, like, why not make this one the first one? $3.99. There's a cover price on that. Next up from Dynamite is the Powerpuff Girls Winter Snowdown Showdown, issue number one. It's a one-shot winter anthology. I'm a sucker for like anthologies. Speaking of, I didn't even write them down here, but DC's got a winter anthology coming out this week, as does Marvel. The name Holiday Tales to Astonish is just a cool name. But anyway, Powerpuff Girls Winter Snowdown Showdown is $5.99. The DC one is like $10. It's like I Know What You Did Last Christmas or something like that. Or was that? I don't know. And then the Marvel anthology, I think it's like $6.99. So all of those winter anthologies, extravaganza, eat your heart out. Next up, Two-Face, issue number one. Two-Face, honestly, DC is all in, and that means like they're all in my wallet, and you just got to draw a line. Got to draw the line. If you had held the line at $2.99, maybe I could afford some more of these titles. But hey, we're here. The market dictates that comics cost at least $3.99. That's such a great cover, though. Such a great cover. $3.99 on that. A new one. Speaking of Alex Segura, writer of Dick Tracy and plenty of other titles, there's a new number one from Scout Comics called The Dusk number one. And apparently it's a first issue that's going to be followed immediately by the full series trade paperback. So for my money, maybe like I would just skip to the trade paperback. But for a more sensible buyer, maybe you try out issue one and then decide. But the premise of this kind of hooked me. Like, this guy is a public defender, divorcee, single dad, and, decides to become a vigilante somehow. That just sounds really interesting to me. We see vigilantes all the time, but I don't know. Something about like his backstory just seems intriguing. So, $4.99 on that. Next up, I don't remember if this is a one-shot or a new series, but it's Thundercats Apex, issue number one, also from Dynamite Entertainment. Ed Brisson is writing this, and Ed Brisson did a bunch of like Predator stuff for Marvel. He's done a bunch of other stuff. He's had like all kinds of runs on all kinds of characters, but that's just happens to be the most recent thing of his that I've read, and I really liked it. So I'm expecting that he'll write a really exciting Thundercat story, especially given there's a new character he gets to play with. But yeah, I don't know. I got to draw the line somewhere. So be on the lookout though. $4.99 is the cover price on that. And two more books on the radar. From Marvel, there's All New Venom, issue number one, because apparently we needed an all new Venom because Venom and Carnage and Scream and all the other symbiotes weren't enough. So we got a new Venom. He's got a yellow badge. I guess the big guessing game is like, who is the all new Venom? And if I got to guess just based on the random yellow badge, Luke Cage? I wouldn't want to see Luke Cage's Venom, but I don't know. Could be a cool thing. All new Venom, $4.99 on that. And the last book that's on the radar, in case you didn't read it as the backup stories to a bunch of your favorite Marvel comics earlier this year, Deadpool and Wolverine Weapon Extraction is getting a one-shot collecting all of those backup stories, the full Weapon Extraction storyline, for just $6.99. Seems interesting. Lots of stuff on the radar, lots of books coming out. If you did not do your holiday shopping for Black Friday, walk into a local comic shop. There are bound to be several titles that are super intriguing for a reader in your life, whether they are a, 30-plus-year-old like myself or a 12-year-old looking to get into their first comic. Head to a comic shop, give the gift of comics this Christmas. That was my plea. Please buy comics for someone in your life. Anyway, that's going to do it from me. Let me know what you decide to grab in the comments down below. And if that's not enough for you, join us on Discord. We talk about comics literally all the time. It's all we do. Anyway, join us. I'd love to see you there. Until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and read something dope today. Peace.